What's up, everyone? Welcome to another panel with Chris Davis. I'm super excited to be featuring you and just again connect with you. Chris and I have met working in the venture capital tech space and have crossed each other paths in Miami, Atlanta. So it's just really good to be able to connect and tap in more. How's it going today?
I'm doing well, man. It's great to be here. To your point, I'm glad that our paths have crossed over the years, and this is one of the things I tell founders that I'm working with. You never know how you and someone that you cross path with may end up being co-founders down the road or working together or yeah, you'd be featured on a podcast that they have. So it's all about the connections that social and that network capital that you're able to build is definitely a muscle that you have to have in our space. So happy to be here. Definitely known you for at least a couple of years, probably even more than that. But sometimes it takes that long, to get to a place where we can all connect and collaborate on a certain initiative. So I'm glad that we're here today.
Yeah, yeah. So, you've built and operated companies across multiple industries.
Mhm.
What are some core principles, that stay the same no matter what sector you're in?
Yeah, I have my word, and I always say it. Anybody that has worked with me, worked for me, is ingenuity in the tech startup space. And I'm always, I want to make sure that when I was a founder, I wanted to make sure that co-founders that I was looking to work with or new hires that I wanted to bring on, I wanted them to know that ingenuity is something that we needed and we had to excel at. So essentially, just doing a lot with the little and your ability to show unique stakeholders, specifically investors, if you're going the VC route, that you are able to do that, to take a dollar and before we got on this call, we were talking about the US dollar in Guatemala. It's almost 10x, right? So to take $1 and 10x it and be able to have a team that you can influence to do the same and run alongside you to go and hit those key milestones and show investors that, hey, not only am I going to operate this business, in a responsible manner, but also we're going to do it in a way where we're not just out here blowing capital. We're going to do it efficiently, and because I want you to be a part of my next round. So ingenuity is the big key, and it's the foundation that is kind of the underlying principle in every startup that I've run. And now, as I'm on the VC side as well, that's one of the things that we do. That's people start to pitch me their company, and I say, whoa, 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 tell me about your founding journey. How did you get to today? Let's back up 5 years, 10 years. What was your journey to get here? Because I want to hear about, that ingenuity that they have.
Love that. That's a unique perspective. You don't hear that a lot. So you've worn many hats from
Mhm.
founder, operator, like you just mentioned, venture capital.
Mhm.
How has each role shaped your perspective on building successful companies?
Yeah, that's a great question. So just to kind of level set everybody listening in, today I'm the COO and managing partner of Intuitio Labs and Right Shift. We are a three-part organization. The foundation of the business is a product development studio. So we have a team of about 70 engineers, and we're building digital products for startups, SMBs, and large enterprises. Our largest customers are like Georgia Pacific, Bose Audio. Um, and second part of our business is a product accelerator. So we were able to see many trends that founders were coming to us and they were going through the same challenges and making the same mistakes. So we created our accelerator to ensure that early stage founders we can help them avoid some of the recurring, challenges and mistakes around the product, whether it's, the architecture not being built to scale, relying we should definitely rely on the AI tools, but relying too heavily and not being able to understand how to pivot from the AI platform to a custom build, all that good stuff. All that's a part of
Mhm.
our accelerator. The third part is our venture fund where we can invest across our ecosystem. So to get to where I am today, I started off 2010. I was played played football in college, played a little bit professionally. I chased it. That was my dream. A couple of years after chasing it, my reality was the dream was over for football, and I needed to find what I wanted to do for a profession. Started to talk to a bunch of people. Luckily for me, knew an investor that knew the CEO of this new sports tech company. I was a former athlete. And I didn't know anything about tech. They were techies. I didn't know much about being athletes. So it was a great marriage, and that's where I started in my journey. I wanted them to teach me everything that I could learn about tech and operations. Uh, about 7 years into that journey, I decided that I needed to go back and get more formal training on the actual execution of operating a business. I've been in all these different operational roles. They started, having teams report to me, and I'm doing a bunch of things via Google at night, P&Ls and all, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Saying, during the day, I'm saying, yes, I can do it. Yes, I know how to do that. Yes, we can make that happen. And then in the evenings, I'm going and figuring out how to do what I just said yes to earlier in the day. So the MBA really helped me learn the definitions and specifics of some of the things that I was doing on a day-to-day basis.
Hmm.
Um, and also, I knew that I wanted to have the opportunity to be a CEO of a company, in some point. So that was all a part of the boxes I thought I needed to check. The last part there, graduated from business school. I actually worked through business school with the startup that I was with. And then I was like, I need to kind of spread my wings on my own. I had only been with one CEO, my entire career at that point. And so I left, became the first hire in an ed tech company. I was head of operations, and then got hired away there to be a co-founder and CEO in an entertainment tech company. And that's really where I was able to take, the 10 years of experience and yeah, see if I could jump from the nest and fly on my own. First time I had ever taken a company through an accelerator, and it was just a different experience for me. Before, I had been in companies that were funded by high net worth individuals to not having that luxury when I became the co-founder and CEO of the entertainment tech company. And so we had to go the traditional route and figure it out. So got into an accelerator, met investors through the accelerator. We did what we needed to do there, essentially being present. I know sometimes we get into accelerators and it's like, I know this, I've already done that, but we were present, and we went through each week as if we were in business school, met the investors, made those relationships, and then was able to go on and raise capital. That entire journey of being in sales, being in marketing, different operations roles, having to, raise capital, being responsible for generating revenue and sales for the company, trying to strategize on, okay, we have a product. How do we get people to attracted to the product? Once you get them attracted, how do you retain them? Once you retain them, how do you get them to make transaction on the product to generate revenue? Um, all of that was what led to the seat that I'm in today. And as I was transitioning from the CEO role, I said this career has been great, but now I feel like I'm at this inflection point in my career where I want to be able to help many companies at one time instead of just being in one company. There's so many people that helped me along the way in my journey, and I wanted to be able to, be one of those individuals to pay it forward. So started becoming mentors in different accelerators, and then this role that I'm in today, product was the biggest challenge that I had. I met the founder of Intuitio Labs in 2019, Deep Kalina. We're great friends today, business partners, of course.
How'd you
But
meet?
we met because that ed tech company that I was telling you about, it was two co-founders, and they were coming from big corporate industry, but they had an amazing idea. Think about an on-demand Uber-like platform for internships. So if you're, everybody that was in town for Art Basel and things of that such last week, you're a college student, you have internship requirements for graduation. You could go on to their app, and it would, localize based upon where you are, and it would show you internship opportunities that are available to you as a college student. And not only would it show you those, but you can apply to them. If you get selected, it managed everything that would be able to go back to your transcripts for school. So it's really, really unique. That's how that was the company. They said, hey, we want to hire you, but for us to hire you, you also have to get our MVP into the market within 90 days. That's the only caveat. So again, like what's the Richard Branson quote? Somebody asks you to do something and you don't know how to do it. Say yes and figure it out over the way. So I said yes, and I went to CTO that handed me a list of 10 product development studios to vet and interview, and that's where I met Deep, and he really helped me start to understand the connection between you know product and the business. I had just been running a business, and the product was kind of the afterthought, and so he
Mm.
really helped me understand letting the product lead the business, but being able to speak to that, inform your teams around it, and have the business operations and the milestones that you're setting for the business, be influenced by the product and where the product roadmap is going. And that's the crazy part of that is that's when I started to raise, capital for the company. Before that, 10 years into in startups, I had never raised a dime. And so I knew how important that was. And after I transitioned from my CEO role, I knew that that's where I wanted to be because I felt like that was the biggest gap in the market. Early stage founders being able to confidently, navigate the early stages of getting their product in the market, getting the early traction, and and having a product that was investor ready, and also being able to be connected with credible, sources that. And that's a big deal, there's a lot of
Yeah.
stigma on product development, so that was huge for us.
Yeah, no, that's a good journey, man. And for
Mhm.
those listening in, since you said 2010, it sounds like it was the beginning of
Yeah,
startups.
yeah.
What's a hard lesson that you've learned um, throughout this time that you wish more founders today understood earlier?
Hard lesson that I've learned. That's a great question. Um, there's a couple that come to mind. One I'll say is I think sometimes people get they obsess with the LinkedIn title and the I'm at Art Basel and my name is on the my name is on the program, and I'm on a panel, and I'm the CEO, but they don't want to do the work, and they don't want to have the responsibility. They think they do, but it's a lot to have, and this is just from my perspective. It's a lot to have an entire uh, organization, looking to you to lead them through good times, bad times, making sure food is on their table, having all the answers. So, where I'm going at here is make sure that you have a village when, if you really want to do this work. And that village is more than just, a mom and your dad or a best friend. There's a reason why um, programs like this exist, because Manny, you've been there before. You know how hard it is. You know that if people are out there doing the work and they feel that they don't have a place to go to for answers or for motivation or for inspiration, then yes, we're going to lose, these great ideas and these great products that we should be, exalting and highlighting in the next 5 years, the next wave of the new technology that's coming through. And so I think that that's a big part of it. One of the ways that I got my inspiration was Guy Raz and How I Built This.
Yeah,
I mean, I listened to that.
it's a great podcast.
Yes, I mean, years and years before I even thought about being a founder of a company or this or that, but all those, hearing the stories about a Nike, an Airbnb, Southwest Airlines, and everybody goes through the same things. Oh my gosh, we're 2 weeks away from not being able to pay folks, or the company's about to fall. If I don't close this deal, with this investor, then this is the end.
Mm.
Hearing the Airbnb folks selling, cereal to and get
Yeah,
and then when you get in those roles and you're going through that, it's a reminder that hey, these companies didn't just fly through this thing with, essentially like a silver bullet. Everybody
yeah,
goes through the peaks and valleys, and the accelerators that I've been a part of, the directors, of those accelerators, the friends and colleagues that I've met in those accelerators, the VCs that I've worked with, the mentors that they've, introduced me to, all of those people I still talk to today, even though I don't need anything from them, like I used to. But it's that network capital, that social capital that was key and is critical, but also
yeah,
the ability to understand where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, and to make sure that you have great people around you to help, um, fill in for your weaknesses so you guys can propel forward as a great team.
yeah. No, that's yeah. I heard accountability,
Hmm.
with a little sprinkle of humility in there too, which you
Yep.
really need. And community is so important. Um, is there an industry that you think is ripe for disruption, but not getting enough attention right now for founders looking at?
Yeah, I think it's healthcare, and I don't think that that's not a revelation. I think other people realize this as well. One of the unique things about we have a fund, but also our day to day is product development. People are coming to us because they have these, unique ideas about, or, products that are already in the market they just need some help with. And we're able to see the trends of, the founders that are coming to us. And there's a lot of innovation, in healthcare right now. Also a lot of innovation in sports.
Mm,
But healthcare, there's just antiquated, systems because there's some really big incumbents that have kind of been the gatekeepers for a long while. But the more, I heard a founder today, he's looking at a solution that is able to, diagnose different illnesses just from you speaking into your phone, and it knows when your voice is changing, right? Spoke to, and if you think about calling your financial institution and now they're verifying that it's you with, your voice. It's just the way that the technology trends are moving and progressing forward. Yeah, healthcare is definitely one, and then athletics, I feel like is another where really being able to, um, from my experience, you're watching film all the time. That was like one of the biggest things that we had to do all day, every day. And now, being able to have different technology assist in understanding trends and what to expect next from your opponent. I think all of that is going to be some really big technology that's continuing to emerge and innovate in those two industries.
yeah. No, I second that. Um, you and I both are in venture,
Hmm.
um, and I think, like, just when you're so when you look like us, and you know what the
Mhm.
numbers are,
Mhm.
it's it could be daunting. I think raising
Mhm.
capital and then being there. I guess for founders, looking in, what do they probably misunderstand the most about how venture partners can actually add value?
Yes, I think they missed the most. There's two pieces. One is the true venture folks. They have a job as well, right? You need to understand what their metrics for success are, not from the standpoint of, what do I think that, yeah, what are your metrics of success for your business? But if I'm running a $50 million fund, what have I promised to my limited partners in my fund, to get them to invest in my company? And what am I telling them that they're going to get from working with me, which as a result helps you understand what the founders that these VCs are investing in need to bring to the table. So that's one. And then two, you're not looking, yes, you want the capital, but you want to work with a venture partner that can provide added value. For us, if you're working with us, we're going to provide capital, but also, you know, we are product experts. We have helped hundreds of founders and other 50 plus corporations with their digital products. So we know that in and out. We know what it means, what a product needs to be. For example, you're in the healthcare industry. We know about all the HIPAA compliance and all the other regulatory components of your platform that need to be taken care of. We don't even blink on those things. We just know that that has to happen. It comes with working with us versus founders trying to figure some of those things out on their own. Same in fintech. We've worked with many sports tech companies. We understand the trends in the markets. We do our own market research. So that in addition comes with us. So ask that venture partner, hey, in addition to this capital, what else, will you be able to provide for me? And I would go in there with ask, hey, these are some of the gaps in the company that we currently have. We're not going to be able to hire these type of folks, right now at a pre-seed or seed level. Our goal will be to do that on the next fundraising round. But can you introduce me to an advisor that can help me, with finance, because that's where I struggle the most, or
Hmm.
with marketing strategy. So
Yeah.
that's where I will leave that.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think someone once said to me is I could be transactional or we could do life together.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I think that a lot of time people just have a very transactional approach
Hmm.
to dealing with venture
Yeah.
partners. And I just think again going back to your earlier point,
Yeah.
in terms of like what did you do beforehand, I think sometimes it
Hmm.
would be helpful to study that.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so I appreciate it. I know we're coming close to an end here.
Hmm.
What are you looking forward to 2026? Any big events? Any plans? I know Atlanta is booming right now. There's a
Yeah.
lot of great things happening there. So yeah, what can folks look forward to?
Yeah, 2026. I'm definitely looking forward to the next phase of our accelerator. We have a big announcement with a large educational institution in the Southeast that'll be coming soon, so be on the lookout there.
Congrats.
Yes, thank you. You can follow us on our LinkedIn page. It's Intuitio Labs and Right Shift. All of our, updates, where we're going, where we've been, all of that is there. Applications for upcoming accelerators, work that our current portfolio companies are doing or cohort companies are doing, even client testimonials, all that good stuff. And then, of course, all that will take you back to our websites and all that good stuff.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Well, thank you, Chris. Make
Thank
sure everyone
you.
taps in. This guy's a wealth of knowledge and information, and just someone that's very affable. So appreciate you. Thank you for your time, and really looking forward to continuing to build together.
Likewise. Thanks, Manny. Thanks everybody for watching, and don't hesitate to reach out to me. We'd love to speak to you guys and hear what you're working on. Thank you.